Young men are either waiting to get married into their 30s or they're just not seeking a spouse at all. This is not good on at least two levels. Societally, family is the bedrock. It is the glue that holds everything together. Without families, a mom and a dad and kids, in a till death do us part covenantal relationship, you've got a country that is going to be a disaster.
It is a disaster.
However, there's another level that should concern us regarding young men, not just waiting to get married, but giving up on dating. If you don't date/court, chances are really good you're not going to get married. What's the problem? It robs God of glory. That's right. That's what Paul was talking about in Ephesians when he defined what marriage is. It's a bit of a mystery. Here's the picture. I'll explain the puzzle. Sir, you play the role of Jesus. Madam, you play the role of the church. The world watches you. They want to know about what makes you different, and they end up getting saved. Therefore, when we play our roles as Jesus and the church, God gets much glory. When we're not getting married at all, it robs him of that glory. Let's see if we can figure out why this is happening. What went wrong here, and what might we do as the church to help young men not put off dating, but to run to the altar? From an article in Reddit, a young man wrote, "The constant feeling of wanting affection all stems from social media. I came to the realization that I'm doing nothing but wasting my time by talking to girls that only want to talk on Instagram, but wouldn't even pick up the phone for a call, let alone meet up. It's a waste of time." What are the two issues that jumped out to me? Number one, Instagram. This is basically how you check out the opposite sex. And both men and women are doing this as if the opposite gender are merely cattle that we can buy at the auction block. Instagram, it ain't helping young people to get married. Furthermore, they're growing discouraged, and they seem to think, rather than dating a goyle, wasting my time on the Instagram machine, I've got hobbies to do. That should tell us something. If a young man is willing to give up on goyles, it means he likes something a lot more. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that love of hobbies needs to diminish, but love of women and getting married needs to increase. Let's learn more, shall we? From Reddit, that's right, I said it. One fellow responded, "I realized the return on his investment wasn't there. I got a lot more enjoyment from working out, hanging out with friends, and just being alone." When these very fine activities are superseding the desire to get married in a one-flesh relationship, something is horribly off, and we can't just point our fingers at these Gen Zers and tisk them. We might have some responsibility in this. More responses. I don't know if it's just the free apps or if it's just the inevitable outcome of trying to digitize and commodify human connection, but all dating apps seem to make people just seem disposable, particularly yourself. Don't need to look far for sociological studies that indicate we have a generation that is very depressed. I know there are more contributing factors. A lot of them have to do with the church and family, but is it possible that dating apps are contributing to depression? Individuals feel commodified. They feel like they're nothing but a product because they know as they're doing this, somebody is doing that to them. And just looking at them and assessing them visually and quickly. And if you don't write the cool words, have a clever way of presenting yourself, well, then you just get passed over. That does not breed a very healthy image of oneself, shall we say. So why is it that fellows who I presume are healthy young men are not racing to marriage so they can enjoy that intimate act? One word: porn. It's a scourge on our culture. It has infiltrated the church at staggering levels, including the pastors. Young men are now being introduced to porn, and I think the average age now is 10. Yikes, they're seeing these images. They get hooked like a bass in Minnesota, and they cannot get out of porn, but they are finding their fulfillment in pixels and not with a spouse. Pornography is probably the number one email that we receive here at Wretched. Simply assessing why young men aren't getting married, while being somewhat helpful, doesn't really offer a solution. So what might be a cure to the current dilemma that so many young men face of just becoming kind of ho-hum about getting married? Well, I think I got me an idea. It seems to me that we need to go about the business of helping them see marriage as being something better, intimacy with a human being as something better, and provide a system for them to lessen their odds of getting burned. What might that system be? Well, because the Bible doesn't speak explicitly about how to go about the business of getting married. You see arranged marriages. You see where it's, no, I just like that girl and I'm going to get married marriages. But we never see this is how you're supposed to do it. Maybe, just maybe, I know this sounds old-fashioned because it is, but remember, not everybody who is dead was dumb. Rather than dating and scrolling and looking and going out, we return to a little something called courting.
Detective Friel, can you tell us what's happening here?
Yeah, what's happening here is a clear demonstration of the noetic effect of the fall. Genesis 2, Paul elaborates in Romans chapter 3. Jeremiah tells us that everybody's heart is deceitful and wicked. What's going on here? Sin.
Are you confident that these thieves will be brought to justice?
4 words: great white throne judgment.